All right, everyone, welcome to the stream, guys. You're watching Rome Knows Tech, and I'm your host, Ron Wilkerson, guys. I'm coming from the city of Houston, down here in the ever so hot and humid state of Texas, and yes, we are getting into those hot and humid months. You can believe that. So yes, if you pop in here someday in the future and you see me with my personal air conditioning unit around my neck, you already know why. Even though I got AC in the house and it's usually blaring, man, I'm telling you, there is no substitute. It gets hot down here in Texas. I mean, literally, you can cook your dinner on the sidewalk. It gets that kind of heat down here in this state. But anyway, you know, we're not going to worry about it tonight, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention. All right, guys, so we got a lot going on this evening here from the state of Texas, guys. It is June the 3rd. And we got a lot of items we're going to go over. We got a couple of new items here in the carousel as well. So we will be unboxing those, taking a little sneak peek at them before I get a chance to do a full review video on the products. So if you guys have any questions about any of these products, feel free to drop them down in the comments. If you are watching over on Facebook, feel free to drop your comments over on Facebook. I should see them. I think I see them when they come out on the chat app here, as well as if you're over on YouTube and you want to drop your little comments over there, I should see those as well. So we got a lot going on tonight. Let me check all of our different platforms, making sure that we are live over on TikTok as well. Let me make sure. Give me a second. We are live over on TikTok as well. So if you're watching over on TikTok, welcome to the stream. I see Renee is saying hi over on YouTube. Welcome, Renee. Welcome to the stream. All right, so we're going to get right into it. What is Renee saying? It's miserable out there. Yes, it is miserably hot down here in the great state of Texas, the dirty, the slippery, slimy. Y'all know it gets hot, man. I'm telling you, I need to do a full stream on nothing but, I mean, literally nothing but, personal air conditioning things, down here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. So, yeah, I need to make that happen. All right. Let me see what's going on over here. Doo-doo-doom, doo-doo-doom, doo-doo-doo. All right, let me scroll all the way down so we can see everybody. We see Hope is saying hello over on YouTube as well. Welcome, Hope. Welcome to the stream. All right, so we got a lot to get to. So we're going to take a quick look around the studio here real quick. I'm just going to make sure all of our cameras are on point. All right, you guys can see my iPhone camera is pointing at our drone. Our top-down camera is pointing down here at the desk. And we have our drone camera open as well. So we will be doing a little flying of the drone. The simulator. We will be doing some drone simulations, not actual drone flight. Y'all remember how that went. So, yeah, we don't want a reoccurrence. We don't want a reoccurrence of Rome having to climb up on this desk and try and force this drone off of the ceiling because, yeah, it got out of control last time I tried to fly my Air 3S here in the studio. But that was when I first got it, and I was still learning the drone, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen, so, it got out of control. Alan DeBay is in the house. Welcome, Alan DeBay. Welcome to the stream. All right, so first person in the stream tonight was Renee. So Renee gets to choose whatever it is that we are going to create with our laser tonight. We will be using the X-Tool M1 Ultra, which is a 4-in-1 laser, guys. This thing is a beast for what it is. It will tickle your pickle when it comes to all of your different hobbies that you might be into, whether it's laser engraving, whether it's printing, because there is a print module as well. So you get this cool little print module. You also get a pen module. Let me actually grab this other camera and show you guys what you get. So you get this pen module. You get a printing module. You get a set of pins that come with it as well. Now, my unit came with a 10-watt laser, but you can get this with a 20-watt laser. I do highly recommend it. Alan knows what I'm talking about. And it also comes with a cutting module. It comes with some blades so that you'll be able to cut things like acrylic or leather or fabric or whatever it is, whatever your project entails. You'll definitely be able to do it with this laser. So, or should I say this 4-in-1 crafting device. Alan, what have you been up to? Let us know down in the comments, because you know Alan is a professional storyteller, for those who may not know. Yeah, we get some celebrities here on the stream quite often, and Alan is one of them. Alan is a storyteller. He is also a comedian. You can find him on Instagram. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him on TikTok as well, if I'm not mistaken. Alan tells a lot of dad jokes, and of course, he is an expert professional storyteller. He's won multiple awards as a storyteller. So I'm telling you guys, if you want to be entertained, make sure you're following my man Alan, because I'm telling you, it is definitely going to be a reward for you. All right, Alan, let us know what you got coming up. If you have any festivals or, you know, any type of events that, you know, the community might want to be aware of, so they can watch, or maybe watch the video playback, or whatever the case is going to be. All right, so Renee, you were the first person in the stream, so if you have an idea for us to create something tonight, we got some wood, we got some acrylic, we got some other materials. Okay, we don't have a lot of anything, so I'm gonna tell y'all right now, we do not have a lot of materials to work with, but we got some wood, we got a little bit of acrylic, we got some stuff, we got some pieces of some stuff. Okay, we got some parts of some stuff, right? Okay, that might be enough. Alan says in a week and a half we'll be heading to a festival in Northeast. No, wait, is that Nebraska? Alan, you can't type, bro. You cannot type. You better stick to comedy, because you are definitely not going to be a typist, okay? I almost didn't know what that said. I thought I was about to say Northeast Baraska. I was reading it as Northeast Baraska. I'm like, where is Baraska? Is that near Alaska? Where's Baraska? I have never heard of Baraska. So, you know, I'm just saying. So y'all might want to keep an eye on Alan, because, you know, there might be some issues we need to address, because sometimes, you know, comedians are speaking from the heart, babies. They speaking from the heart. So they may have a whole bunch of crazy drama going on, and they just trying to, you know, let it out. They be just trying to express it. You know what I'm saying? So Alan might drop a dad joke for us, or a joke in the comments. You know, you just never know. That's why you need to be over here on Amazon watching, because that's the kind of stuff to be happening right here on the stream. So get over here. That's what I'm saying. All right. Now, with all that said, I don't know if Renee is still around, so we'll see who is still here. Renee was the first person in the chat, so Renee gets to choose what we're going to create tonight. Hopefully Renee will use her imagination and come up with something that is worthy of me spending my time trying to research and find and drag it into the software, and then burn it on some wood or some acrylic or something. So, you know, we're going to try to make it happen. So hopefully she won't come back with something like she did last time, like a sunflower. So Renee, use your imagination. Bring it out. Bring it.
Out, Renee! People are waiting. They are waiting, and prior minds want to know what you want Rome to create tonight.
Bring it! Bring it. Bring it on to us, Renee. Bring it. We are waiting.
All right. I like telling dad jokes, Alan says. Yeah. I love reading dad jokes. I love finding dad jokes and reposting them. As you know, I picked that bad habit up from you, Alan. So a lot of times when I'm in other people's streams, they will say Rome is dropping dad jokes, and, you know, where's Alan? Because Alan is known for the dad jokes. So, you know, I'll be like, Alan told me to come over and drop this right here. Okay. So don't blame me if something happens. Alan told me to put this right here. So, you know, that's my story, and that's what I'm gonna stick with. Minotaur on whatever. Minotaur. Why is Renee is just losing her little mind. Yeah, I think that's something that happens to teachers over time, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all. So we might have to do an intervention for Renee, because you know after a while, you know they get you know they you know what I'm saying. Y'all know exactly what I'm saying. But anyway, she wants me to find a Minotaur. Hey, you know. All right, let's see if I can even spell that. Isn't it amazing that you can read things, but then when you try to spell them, you know, you'll always mess. Well, at least I will. I ain't gonna say everybody will, but you know, I do. You know. Let me see if we can find a Minotaur. Did I even misspell it? I think I even misspelled it, but no, I found one. Okay. Ooh, I found a lot of them. All right, so we got to find something that's definitely going to be Amazon appropriate, so we don't want to get crazy out there. Let's find something that is also royalty free, so we won't have to worry about that issue either. So let me find a Minotaur. Is it Minotaur or Minotaur? Minotaur. I think it's Minotaur. All right, anyway, let me save the image. We're going to save the image. And then we're going to open our Xtool Creative Space. And I think it's already open. It is open from our last adventure. From Renee. No, it wasn't from Renee. I take that back because I was doing something for Father's Day. So, yeah, I did this little Father's Day thing. But let's just go ahead and click OK on that. And we can go ahead and delete this Father's Day item. Let's hit delete. And let's make sure our laser is connected. Is that connected? Nope. Okay, our laser is now connected. Nope, we're not doing a firmware update. Somebody remind me, it says, no, remind me in 3 days. And that was probably 3 days ago when it reminded me the last time. But somebody remind me that I need to be reminded in 3 more days. So anyway. All right, we need to reset this right here. So let's go ahead and remove. Let's delete that marking. And we're going to create a new one. So let me show you guys what that looks like. So, okay. What is that? I think my drone is going crazy. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I think my drone controller was going crazy, y'all. It was not happy. It was not happy. All right, so anyway, let's switch over. Let's switch over here. And let's set it up. Oops, I'm just knocking stuff over. All right, we're going to do the Minotaur. There we go. There's our first point. Actually, I need to mark and start the marking process. So here we go. Mark number 1. I knocked that over. Don't judge me. Mark number 2. All right, let's move that back. Let's put that magnet on there. Okay, so now we can close this guy down and we can measure the thickness of this wood. And we can end our marking, hit done. And let's go back to our desktop here real quick. Alan, we're making a Minotaur. We're making a Minotaur, Alan. Renee says a Minotaur. Okay, Renee. Okay, we know there's some issues going on in your world, but we're not gonna call you out. But if there is a phone call that is requiring you to show up to a specific, location, it might be because there is an intervention going on. I'm just saying. All right. Nope, we don't want to buy any credits. Okay, I don't know what that was all about. All right, here we go. So here's our little Minotaur. So let me see if I can fit this Minotaur into this space right here. And I'm going to go ahead and edit this down because it looks a little big. So we're going to crop it in here a little bit. Let's bring that crop in about there and about there. Did you guys see my cooking video? I did a cooking video last night. I think it was last night. I made a pizza in a pie crust, and I kept saying pizza crust in the video. I noticed that when I watched it back, and yes, I do watch back all of my content. So yeah, I made a pie last night. I made a pizza pie. Technically, yeah, pizza pie. That's what I made for dinner last night. The other day I was asking for donations for a swimming pool, so I gave a glass of water. So the other day I was asking for a donation for a swimming pool, so I gave a glass of water. Alan, I think you might want to reread that. You might want to read what you just typed. But anyway, let's get to it. Let's get to this Minotaur. Let's zoom in on the Minotaur so I can show it to you guys a little bit better. Let me bring it down here. All right, so there's our Minotaur. Where is my hand? There we go. See if we can drag this over a little bit so it's center frame. All right, there we go, guys. There's our Minotaur that we're going to laser engrave with our X-Tool M1 Ultra. Okay, so first things first, we need to choose our material. I think I still have that chosen from last time. Yes, 3mm basswood. That's what we're going to be working with. And then we're going to try to cut this guy out as well. So let's click on it and do this offset here. And let's bring that in as tight as we can get the offset. That looks pretty good to me. Make sure we don't have anything on the inside. Let's go ahead and generate that. That's good to go. All right, so I think we're going to be cutting this out. So let's go to our cut. And we want to make sure this is going to cut all the way through. So we're going to do a speed of 3, power of 90, and we're going to do 2 passes on that. So let's come down here where it says passes, and we're going to set it to 2. And we're also going to have the laser drop down 1 or 2, well, yeah, 1 millimeter every pass. So let's just do 1 millimeter there. And let's go out to our engraving. And this guy, we have it at 55% power. I'm going to bring that power up a little bit to about 72. And the speed is good. 1 pass, Jarvis. We're going to do 120 lines on the 120 lines per centimeter, and it's going to be bi-directional. All right, so let's go ahead and frame this guy up and see what it looks like. Let me hit the framing button. Let me also switch you guys over so you can see what's going on. And wait for it. There we go. All right, so let me hit the framing button. All right, that looks pretty good to me. So let's go ahead and rock and roll. Let me make sure I have the camera close enough for you guys to be able to see what's going on. All right, there we go. You should be able to see the laser now once it starts. So I'm going to go ahead and start it. Let's run this job, and I'll tell you guys in a second how long it's supposed to take for this job to be completed. So once I hit start, and I got to press that button again, that big silver button to start it. All right. There we go, Renee. We are now creating your Minotaur. All right, let me see what it looks like so far. All right, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good from what I can see. So we'll check back in with your Minotaur here in just a little bit. Actually, let me give you guys a better look at this. So here is the full laser. It does have a venting system on the back here. Of course, I have this connected via USB-C cable, but you can also use Wi-Fi. There's a Wi-Fi connection built into this as well. So I want you guys to see how little of this desk this laser actually takes up. So it's not as small as some of my other lasers, like the laser pecker with the air purifier, I mean with the enclosure, but it doesn't take up a ton of space, guys. So this is gonna be great for your man cave, your she shed. And right now you can get the entire bundle for only $1,799.99. So a great, great deal. All right, so let me grab a couple of things while I'm over here. Actually, you know what? I think I will just leave these things over here, and I'll just switch to that camera, and I'll just have to talk a little bit louder. All right, so let's switch back over here real quick. And let me rotate this camera around and turn some light on. Let me turn the light on back here so you guys can kind of see what's going on. All right, so we have a couple of cameras back here. All right, guys, so on this desk we have basically the bundle. We have the Ozbot bundle. That's going to come with the Ozbot Talent, and it also, you receive the Ozbot Tail Airs. You actually get 3 of the Ozbot Tail Airs. You get the remote control as well. Now, that bundle seems to be out of stock, and I just noticed that it was in stock when I set up my stream, but it seems to be out of stock. So let's go ahead and talk about the next item in the carousel, which is the camera that is next to it, the larger camera. Let me grab it real quick. All right, guys. All right, guys. Oh, what did I knock over? All right, I knocked something over. Anyway, back to what I was saying. The camera that is on there right now is the Ozbot Tail 2. Now, this is a PTZ-R camera. It is currently $1,259. So if you're looking for a PTZ camera for live streaming, for content creation, the R means that it can rotate. That means it'll be able to rotate for, you know, projects that you're doing for Instagram or for TikTok. The bundle itself, like I said, comes with a lot of things, including you can get the version of this with the remote. That's the remote that you guys see here on the desk. Here is the remote that I am referring to. And you can actually use this remote to control up to 3 cameras, 3 different presets on these as well per camera. You have a joystick on here. You have your people tracking, pet tracking. It also has a laser pointer built into it. So it's a really, really sophisticated system, guys. So if you're looking for a camera that you're going to be able to use, like I said, for your church, for your school, for your side hustle, whatever the case it might be, this could be a win. So definitely take a look at this guy as well. $1,259. If you guys have any questions whatsoever about any of the tech we've talked about so far, or anything that is in the carousel, feel free to ask. Even if it's something, guys, that is over on my storefront that I don't have in the carousel tonight, you are free to ask me about it. So we have about 7 minutes and 50 seconds left on our Minotaur engraving. Renee is laughing at me, but our Minotaur engraving, it looks like it is coming out pretty good, Renee, so you should be happy with this. All right, so let's pop down here to the desktop real quick and take a look at a few other cameras. So the next camera listed up, guys, is going to be this guy right here. Now, this is also from Ozbot. This is the Ozbot Tiny SE. It is currently $84. That means it's 15% off from the price of $99. This is a 1080p camera. Now, this is also a pan tilt zoom camera, PTZ camera. Al is in the house. Welcome to the stream. All right, so this guy is going to be really easy to set up, guys. All you need is a USB cable. You can just plug this guy right into your Mac, your PC. Some tablets are compatible with this. Of course, it will work with the Ozbot Talent as well. So you have a lot of different ways that you'll be able to utilize this guy. It has gesture controls. That means you have different hand gestures that you can do that will allow this one to be trackable, as well as to zoom in and zoom out. Okay. Al is over there. Laura's in the house. Welcome, Laura. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. All right, so anyway, guys, this camera right here, you can get right now here on Amazon for $84, okay, $84. Now, there is a 4K version of that same camera if you guys want to take a look at that. Now, I don't have it listed in the carousel tonight, but the way you can tell them apart is that the 4K variant has the red ring around the lens and the 1080p variant does not. But for the most part, they're almost identical in their design, the way that they can be mounted, and all the different devices that you can connect them to. Now, the 4K version does have some other features that the 1080p version does not have, but most people are probably not going to want those nor need those or anything like that, so that's not that big of a deal. All right. So let's see how far we are along with our laser engraving. Let's go ahead and pop back over here real quick. And we are, let's pop it over here so you guys can see. We are pretty close to completing Renee's Minotaur. Laura, you got to remember next time, if you are the first person in the stream, you get to choose whatever it is that I'm going to create with one of these lasers. And I got like 6 or 7 lasers right here in the studio. So, you know, if you're interested in any of that, make sure that you try to get here. Make sure you're following, ring that notification bell, or check the board to see when I'm going to be going live next, because that way, if you're the first person in, you get to choose whatever it is that I'm going to create. All right, so let's get to the next item in the carousel. Is from our friends over at DJI. Now, you guys know I have a few DJI products. I have the DJI Air 3S. I have also a camera that I use on a regular basis, which is this camera right here. This is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Now, this guy comes in a bundle. It is $979 currently. This is also a PTZ camera, but it has a little screen built in right here, so you can easily turn this guy on. It also has human tracking. Now, this bundle does come with a Bluetooth microphone. This is the DJI Mic 2, and this one I use every single day. It does have internal recording, 30-bit float. This is a beast of a little camera, okay? I use this camera every single day to create content. I'm going to show you guys here in a little bit another way that I set up this little staging area over here when I'm doing product videos. But this is the camera right here that I use every single day. Now, most of you guys know that I'm a professional photographer. I've been doing cinematography for over 30 plus years. So I have a huge array of camera bodies and lenses, and I'm talking high-end lenses. You know, I have a ton of that stuff. But honestly, I go with convenience sake, and this has become one of my favorite devices. It's very convenient, easy to set up. I can easily connect this to my Mac or to my iPhone or my iPad, or if I was using an Android device, it'll be pretty much the same. So it has a lot of features. This guy can record 4K video up to 60 frames a second. It can also do 4K video up to 120 frames a second. That's your slow motion. 1080p, I think it's up to 240 frames a second. You know, if you want to record some really super slow-mo. All right, so let's check on our engraving and cutting. I think we're at that cutting stage right now. Let's take a quick look. All right, I think we're on the second pass. It says that we have 2 minutes and 39 seconds, Renee, for your project to be finished. So let's go ahead and jump on to the next item in the carousel. So the next item in the carousel, guys, is going to be some audio gear. Now, most of you guys know, oh, I forgot to turn this camera off. Whew. I forgot to turn that camera off. All right, so most of you guys know, you know, I love high-end audio. I am a big fan of that. So let me show you guys my current audio setup for those who might be new to the stream. This is the microphone that I use every single day. This is the Rode Procaster. I've been using this microphone over 4+ years. And then this is my audio interface. I started off with the Rodecaster, the original OG, and then I upgraded to this version that you guys see here, which is the Rodecaster Pro 2. This is where all of my sound effects come from. So when you guys hear me doing sound effects, you know, in the stream,
or changing my voice, you know, and I want to sound like, I don't know, Renee, because this is exactly what Renee sounds like. If y'all don't know, now you know. So if you give Renee a call and she answers the phone, she gonna sound just like this. She gonna like, hello, this is Renee. How can I help you? And then you be like,
What is going on? Renee, I think you might need some vitamins or some calcium or some collagen or anything that might put just a little bit of bass in your voice.
what are you saying, bass? I'm a woman. I don't need no bass in my voice. This is what women sound like. Don't you know? Maybe you need to research what women sound like.
Okay, you might be right. You might be right. I'm not gonna hold you to that. But inquiring minds would like to know.
Yes, that's what she sounds like. That's exactly what she sounds like. And I'm going to stick to that because I know Renee personally. And I can tell you that that is exactly what Renee sounds like when you talk to her on the phone, okay? She's probably blowing up my phone right now. Like, Rome, you better just stop it, Rome. Rome, stop it. Because the people gonna think I really sound like that. And I'm like, no, that's what you really sound like. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, okay? Anyway, back to some portable audio, and that would be this kit that you guys see right here from my friends over at Anchor. This is the Anchor Works M650 wireless microphones. Let me give you guys a closer look at these. And I think these are probably some of Renee's favorite microphones right here. So whenever Renee uses these as a teacher, it sounds a little bit something like this.
Hello, class. Okay, so we're going to be doing our ABCs today, our 1, 2, 3s. Every once in a while, I might give y'all a little teacher joke or something like that, you know. But anyway, Billy, look this way. Billy, get your finger out of your nose. I'm talking, Billy. I'm trying to teach this class. Wait, is that Alan back there? Alan, what are you doing in my class? Alan be back there going like,
I'm just here to learn something new.
Okay. I think Alan's really here for them cookies because, you know, Rome and Alan like them school cookies, you know, the peanut butter cookies and the raisin oatmeal cookies. Yes, that's right. I'm going to put their business out there in the streets just like that.
But anyway, back to what I was saying. These are some excellent microphones, guys. You get 2 omnidirectional microphones. You get a receiver. You also get 2 adapters. So you have an adapter for your iPhone, especially if you have one of the newer iPhones that uses the USB-C. But it also comes with a lightning adapter as well. So if you have an older iPhone, like my iPhone 14 Pro Max, you have an adapter for that. You get 2 omnidirectional microphones. These have the magnetic clips, so you can remove the clip, which makes it really easy for adhering this, you know, to yourself, your talent, or whatever it is. But it has a traditional clip on here as well. You have this 3.5 right here, so you can plug in a lavalier mic, but it does have a built-in microphone. And these can record internally. These can transmit up to 600 feet, guys, line of sight. So if you have these connected to a phone or a camera or a computer or device or whatever it is, you have your individual gain, levels displayed right here, so you can easily tell, you know, if one of these microphones is hot or if somebody's talking too loud, and you can adjust those independently of each other. So if you got one person that talks, you know, really loud like Renee,
you know, you could turn that one down a little bit, and then if you got somebody that got some bass, babies.
Like your boy Rome, you know, because I be bringing the funkalunkus to it. You know what I'm saying? So they may have to turn me up a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
So, you know, whatever you got to do, boo-boo, to make your audio sound good. you'll have basic controls of it right here with these microphones, guys. And what's cool, you also get this nice little charger case, which does need to be charged. Renee, I know you sent me a message earlier saying, charge your stuff, Rome. Yes, I did none of that. I'm going to tell you, I did none of that, so I didn't charge anything. But luckily, these are charged up already, so hopefully we'll make it through the stream tonight without anything not being charged enough for me to be able to demo it to you guys. But anyway, here we go. These are the Anker M650 wireless microphones. You can get these guys here on Amazon right now, guys, for $199. 99 cents, babies, 99 cents. All right, Alan, what are you doing? Don't tell anyone. Cookies, cookies. Yes, Alan, you know, bro, you know this. You know this. Just like when Christina made that apple pie for me for my birthday that didn't go quite so well, that I still have not received as of yet. From like 2.5, 3 years ago, she made a pie that was supposed to be, you know, come to the brother, and we didn't get no pie. So I don't know if it was a good pie, if it was an average pie, it was just an okay pie. I don't know, because you know I was in the backyard for almost 3 weeks. Oh, Alan, did you know Evans was in my stream yesterday or the day before? Whenever I was live, I think I was live during the early day. Yes, Evans popped in, bro. I was like, wait a minute, what? Evans? Hold on. Oh, man, that is Evans. Okay, hey, Evans, hey. I was all excited. I was like a fanboy. I was like her fanboy. I was like, oh my goodness, Evans is here. How? Everybody, look, it's Evans. Evans is here. And I'm don't start me, because you know who is watching. You know who's watching right now, so we don't need to be adding no fuel to the blooper fire, okay? So we're just gonna keep it real and keep moving right along. You know, you haven't seen Evans in forever, Alan says. Yeah, she was here, bro. All right, so what do we got next? Next item in the carousel. Let me grab it real quick. Oh, shoot. All right, here we go. So the reason why I was showing you guys the Rodecaster Pro 2 is to basically lead into this device right here. So this is also an audio interface. Okay, now with this one, you can connect one microphone like this. You know, you have an XLR right here on the back. You can also connect an instrument or a keyboard or, you know, turntable, whatever it is. You have a full-size 3.5 on the back here as well. You have all of your gain controls right here on the front. Now, what's neat about this, I said the word neat. Anyway, what's cool about this is that this is battery powered. So you just charge it up, make sure you charge it up, or remind yourself, or, you know, send yourself a memo on your smartphone to remind yourself, which I need to do. To remind myself to charge all of my stuff. But anyway, that's not important. But anyway, this is, it does have an internal battery, and you can plug 2 USBs in here. One is going to be for power, charging it. The other one is going to be like a UVC where you can connect it to other devices. You also had a headphone jack on here. You have 2 other 3.5s that can be used for other audio inputs and things like that. And you can also plug in another phone to this. So if you want to bring in calls, for instance, if you want to have like a call line, you know, someone could call you on the phone and you could bring them into your podcast, your live stream, or whatever it's going to be, which is pretty cool. I have something similar to that set up for my Rodecaster Pro 2. So this is just going to be something that's going to be very, very portable for you guys to take it out pretty much anywhere you want to go, which is a win. And this guy is only $79, my babies, from our friends over at Nearstream. All right, so let's get to this area back over here. And yes, Renee, your Minotaur is done. Let me see how many items we have left in the carousel so I can kind of figure out what my timing is. All right, we're good. Okay, so if you guys are ready to see the Minotaur, drop it down in the comments. That X-Tool M1 Ultra is awesome. The X-Tool M1 Ultra, that's this laser, is awesome, or some variation thereof. Chow Chow is in the house. What it do, Chow Chow? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you over here again. All right, so what do we got? What do we got? Let me go ahead and finish. Let me finish our deal here. Let's drop back over to the desktop real quick. So we basically engraved and cut this Minotaur for Renee. Renee was the first person in the stream over on YouTube, so she got to choose. And we have completed it, so I can go ahead and close this down in a little bit, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So let's drop over here, back over here to the laser first, so you guys can see how clean this cut out. Oops, how did I put that in front of the camera? Y'all see? See, that's why we can't have nice stuff, Alan. That's why we can't have nice stuff, because Rome be messing up stuff. All right, let me see if I can direct this camera in the right direction. There we go. All right, so let's open up the lid. And there we go. Here is the wood. As you guys can see, we got a really clean cut on this guy. And here is the Minotaur. Here is her Minotaur. I'm going to take it over to the desktop so you guys can get a better look at it. So don't worry. Don't worry. Let me close this. All right, let's go over to our top down. And here we go. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Got a clean cut on that guy. That's some thick 3mm, like a plywood or whatever you want to call this. So there's our little Minotaur. Let me know what you guys think. If you like, you likey. Let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know in the comments. Let Xtool know that I am representing, and this guy came out really cool. So let me know what you think. All right, type it in the comments. Type it in the comments so everybody will know that you are a fan of the Minotaur. The Minotaur. All right, guys, we got a few more items left in the carousel, so let's go ahead and get right to it. All right, so the final items left in the carousel are kind of reflective of things that I use pretty much on a regular basis for creating content. So I'm gonna show you guys a little behind the scenes, how my studio is set up over here, and things that I use, and some things that just came in recently, so I can give you guys kind of a rundown on that. All right, so the first thing is first, let me show you guys this backdrop. So we have two backdrops, technically three. So there's one backdrop back there. There's a second one, which is a larger green backdrop that I use sometimes for green screening. But then here is the main backdrop that I often use because it's a black backdrop, and I just have it right here in front of this desk. So what's cool about that is when I'm doing product videos, I can cast light and all kind of cool stuff on the background. And one of the new products that we got in just recently really makes that work well. Now the backdrop itself is from Rabe. It is $219, guys, $219. But let me show you guys how I use this. So I'm gonna start turning on some of these lights and turning off other lights. So let me show you that real quick. So I have this light on right now, but I'm about to turn this light off so we can get this a little bit darker over here, so I can show you guys how I build out the studio and the different products that I use to build out the studio. All right, so I'm gonna turn this overhead light off like that, and you guys probably saw me power this down from this Blue Yeti battery right here. That's what I'm using to power that light. Now I have another light that's back here, and this is kind of like a background light, or sometimes I'll use it as a rim light, you know, around a product that has a, let me show it to you guys. Let me turn it on so I can show you guys what that looks like. Give me a second. I gotta take my headphones off so I can get over there. Let me power this guy on and hopefully not knock anything over. I probably should have just used, there we go. Okay. I could have just used my smartphone app. But anyway, you guys can see it now. That's the little light that I have on. You can probably see the rim light that is now on this camera. And that's kind of how I achieve that. Of course, you could use that light for a variety of different things. It is an RGB light, so you do have the ability to adjust the color, to adjust the saturation, all of that kind of cool stuff. It's not a huge light. I'm just trying to move this around so you guys can see it a little bit. Now, the light is currently $89, and you can get it right here on Amazon tonight. If you're trying to set up your own little studio or something like that, definitely check this guy out. Now, let me see here, because there's something special about this light, and I can't remember what it was. So I'm going to actually have to go over to the product page myself, because I actually use this light every day, but I want to be able to tell you guys. Okay, so on the CRI on this light is 95. That's what I was trying to remember what the number was. So it's 95. Your TLCI is 97. The color accuracy, that's your color accuracy. It has a light range between 2500 Kelvin, which is very, very warm, all the way up to 8500 Kelvin, which is very blue light or very daylight balance. There is a smartphone app for it. So you have a lot of cool things that you can do with this light. And like I said, you can just pop over here on the product page if you guys want to get a closer look at some of the features. But it definitely has the smartphone app that I was telling you about, because I use that all the time to change the lighting colors and all of that kind of cool jazz. But this is how I start out building out my background lights and everything. And then I have a few other little smaller lights that I'll use. And I'll show you guys one of those as well. So one of the other lights that I use quite often, let's take it over here real quick. It'll be easier for you guys to see it. That's going to be this guy right here. Now, this one has a magnet in it as well, which is super cool because that makes it really easy for you to mount this up against something. This is an RGB light as well, so you guys can see. You can adjust the color. It has two quarter 20s on either, well, one on either side, so you could easily mount this on like a little tripod, or you could hang this, you know, above, or however you want to mount this, you know. So Renee says that's very nice. Yes, thank you, Renee. All of your controls are right here on the back. Has a little LCD letting you know what's all going on. Really easy to operate, guys. This light is only $21.99. You could literally buy yourself like 3 or 4 of these lights, so that way you'd have like a main light, you could have a rim light, and then a background light, something to be separate, you know, just to separate the background and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna show you guys this light as well and how I would use it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take you guys back over to this part of my desk. So let me move a few things around here. All right. So usually I would have this light somewhere down here on the desk. Okay. So the light would be on the desk, producing like an orange light, and then the other light would be your blue lights. You're kind of getting that, that contrast between orange and blue on whatever the product would be that you'd have here. It could be literally anything, but that's one way to do it, okay? So let me see if I can position this camera where you guys can see the whole scene. See if I can tilt that down enough. Yeah, you can kind of see the desk area set up. So let me move these 2 cameras out of the way. And, just imagine this is our main product that we're trying to demonstrate or create a video on it or something like that. So we're just kind of building out the scene. We're adding different lighting effects and all of that stuff. So the next thing that I would bring into this setup, guys, would be my fog machine. So we have the Cobor, the CF5 Pro. That's the 40-watt fog maker. Let me grab that, guys, so you guys can see it as well. So that is this right here. This is our fog maker. Now this comes with 2 different heads. They are magnetically connected. So we have that head. We also have this little spout that comes with it. It also comes with a little travel bag as well. And here is the other head that comes with it. And this one has the little RGB light built into it as well. So we're going to use that one right now. So we're just going to go ahead and pop that guy on, and this is pretty much what it looks like right here. So let's go ahead and power this on really quickly here. And it should come on here in just a second. And then this top section here, let's go back over to the desk real quick. So this top section right here has a mode button, and you're going to press the mode button. You know, when it's in red, that means you can control the fan because it has an additional fan. I'm going to put it near the microphone so you guys can hear it. So it has a fan, but this also has a fan built into it as well, even if this wasn't connected to it. And then if you press the mode button again, now we can change the color right here of the RGB. So we're going to go ahead and make that a different color. Let's make that kind of a red. Red is what we're looking for. That's not the right color, Rome. You're going in the wrong direction. We're getting close. That's about as close as we're going to get right now. So there's like a red color we're going for. So if I just hit the little power button, you guys are going to see a little fog come out. And you can see how that kind of colors the LED light, just kind of colors the fog. All right, so we're going to take this and we're going to take it back over to our desk. Now, what I would normally do with this, and this is kind of risky, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to pull this forward a little bit. And I'm going to put the fog machine behind it. Okay? I'm going to put the fog machine behind it where you can't see it in the shot. Like this. Right behind it, just like that. Okay? So now what I can do is I can actually use the remote that comes with it to trigger the fog. So I can trigger the fog and make it come up from behind it. So we still have the colors down here. We have the orange over there, and then we have the light. So first things first, I'm going to show you guys what this looks like with the static backdrop behind it. So I'm just going to go ahead and press this button here, and we're going to start the fog. All right, so you guys can see the fog now coming up behind the product, and when I stop it, the fog is going to kind of settle. So you guys get the idea. So it's a cool effect, or you could use a different type of spout, which we're going to switch to here in a second, so I can show you guys what that looks like. So let's go ahead and tilt this camera down again so you can see. All right, so we're going to take that head off, and we're going to put the other head on. So I'm going to pop that guy off. We're going to put this head on, but we're going to actually put the little spout on it as well. So I'm going to take this spout off. We're going to use this longer spout right here. Just going to put that guy on there and attach this. All right, so it just pops in, looks kind of like that. And then it also has this foam cover that allows you to do the dry ice effect. So we're going to just take that, just kind of secure it like so. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this again, and we're going to place this behind the light. I don't have anything to raise it up, so I'm just going to kind of put it right about there. And normally I would have this on something so it would be sitting higher, so you wouldn't be able to see it. You wouldn't be able to see it behind the light. But I'm just showing you guys how I would set all of these things up. Okay, so so there we go. So now we have the fog back there. We have this light on the desk. We have this light back here. Let me raise these up so we can see. All right, let me make sure everybody can see everything. So we have one small light on the desk. We have the larger light with the grid on it back in the back, which is giving us our little rim light. And then there's another light right here, which is just a white light that I can turn on to just illuminate whatever the subject is. So I can turn this one on just to show you guys. So we can switch this on as well. And I only have this one set at 19%. And you guys see now how much difference it makes for the camera as it sits there. Okay, so now I can just press this remote, and we can start the fog coming out. And then the fog's just going to start falling just like that. So you get a really cool effect for just a few seconds, just to really, accent whatever the product is going to be. So I like that. I like that a lot. And you guys know I use, y'all already know, anything I like, I use a lot. Sometimes I use them way too much. Ask Richard. But yeah, so there we go. There's our little fog machine lighting setup. But we have something else that is new that we're going to talk about here real quick. So let me show that to you guys first. All right, so we got this new product in, and let me grab it. All right, so we got this new product in. It doesn't come with this stand nor this little tripod. Basically what this is an RGB flashlight that has four different colors. It comes with a little snoot. You also get a ton of these little gobos. Hold on, give me a second, guys. You get a ton of these gobos. Let me show you guys what the gobos look like. Now, this light, guys, is very affordable. It is only $54.99. And let me grab these little gobos. I'm trying to grab them all. Okay. So it comes with all of these little gobos that you see here. And basically what a gobo is, it's just a piece of either metal or plastic or paper or whatever it to be. And light goes through it wherever there's a cutout. It's a solid enough material to keep the light from showing through. And like I said, mine came with like 25. It says on the product page that it only comes with 20, but you guys can see we got quite a few of those here. I have one that's in right now. This is the one I'm going to demo for you guys, but I'll flip this up so you guys can see. So that's the pattern for this guy. So you got one button that pretty much controls everything. You have just press this button right here. It'll turn green, and then you just rotate it super fast, and then it'll turn the light on so you guys can see that. All right, so Holy Chat is in the house. Welcome, Holy Chat. All right, so this light, guys, this light is ideal if you want to use this as a background light or something like that. You know, put like an effect behind you, like you guys can see here on my chair, or you know, on some other surface, you know, if you just want to have a light. But what we're going to use it for is more as a video background light. So let's switch back over to our iPhone, and let me show you guys that real quick. All right, so we got the fog machine set up. We have everything else set up. So now I'm just going to position this light so you guys can see now we got that little lighting effect. Maybe I want to make that a little bit lower so I can sit this down behind it, kind of like that. And now you guys should be able to see the effect. Now, of course, you don't want this to be in your shot, but I'm just setting it up here so you guys can kind of see how I'm actually using this, right? So that's what's projecting the light onto the background. You can rotate it as well. So I can rotate this and turn it, or I can zoom in and make it tighter, or pull back and make it bigger. So it just really depends on what it is that you're trying to show off. So if we were using this camera as our subject, and we also want to put a little bit of fog into the mix, we could just grab our little remote control again and go ahead and run the fog coming off. So you guys kind of get the idea of what this video would look like. Well, kind of what it would look like. So you'd have the fog, you'd have the light, you have the cool little lighting effect, you know, as the intro to your video or something like that. Yes, I use this fog machine way too much, but let me pull back and show you guys what the whole thing looks like. So we have this one little light here on the desk. We also have that new light back here from Beautiful, I think it's the name of how the company's pronounced. But anyway, this is a 10-watt light. It will last for about 2 or 3 hours on its highest setting. And you could set this up again for a live stream or a gaming setup or something like that. So you got a lot of flexibility, guys, when it comes to using these type of setups. And like I said, I use this stuff on a regular basis. This is what I use every single day, including these batteries that you see back here that I use to charge up all of my different devices. Both of these are Blue Yeti batteries. The one here on the top is the AC2A. This is a 300 watt hour battery. You can currently get that battery right now, guys, for only $149. And the one below it, which is the AC, which one is that? I never remember the name of that one, but yeah, that one down, that one down there. Let me go ahead and highlight it here in the carousel. The second light, guys, is our EB3A, and that one is also a 300 watt battery. Now the difference between the two is that the EB3A has a camping light. It has, Wi-Fi. I'm not Wi-Fi. It has a Qi charger built into it. Both of them are going to give you, AC and DC power delivery. They both can be charged by solar panels. They both can be powered by a standard 3-prong AC plug, wall plug to charge them up. You can charge them both in your vehicle as you travel, and they're pretty closely priced. So, one is $149. The other one is $189. It just really depends on what you need. But both of them are very compact, travel-friendly batteries. You could easily, take this on a camping trip with you, have it in the backyard for a cookout, take this upstairs in a bedroom if the power goes out because of weather events. You'd have, a battery that you can power a lot of your stuff. You could even take this on location like I would do, to charge up some of my batteries and stuff like that. But I do have another Blue Yeti battery we're going to take a quick look at here that is going to be ideal for all of that kind of jazz. So let me show you guys that one as well. All right, so let me first turn off some of the stuff over here on this desk because I do need to do some videos tomorrow. And I know if I don't turn these things off, my batteries are going to run down and I will be sitting over here angry that I did not turn off all of these different devices. All right, let's power that guy off. And the fog machine should turn itself off, but let me just tilt this camera down so you guys can see what's going on. So let's switch back over here. All right, so let's turn this other light off as well. Let me put the remote somewhere I can find it. Okay, we're gonna power this guy off as well. And let's grab our fog machine and make sure it goes off. So let's power this guy off too. All right, there we go. Fog machine's off, cameras are off, lights are off, everything is off now. So we are good to go. All right, let me grab my headphones and let's talk about the next item. So the next item is also from Blue Yeti, okay? But it's unique. And it's unique in so many cool ways, okay? So this right here is the Blue Yeti Hands-Free 1. This has a 300 watt-hour battery, AC and DC power delivery as well. So you got your AC, plug, 3-prong plug on this side. On this side here, you have your USB-A, USB-C. This is also where you're gonna find your little screen on here, like you find on all the other Blue Yeti batteries. So you have a button for AC, you have a button for DC. You can switch these on whenever you want to. You have 2 USB-Cs, 2 USB-As, and you can also charge this guy right off of a solar panel. The solar panel is not included, but you could get it as a part of a bundle. And it has nice venting, so you don't have to worry about the battery overheating. But this is still a backpack, guys. So what's cool about that is you got storage in the front, nice storage pockets, and you have 3 sections inside here that you can store things. Now, the most important section to me is where I store my cameras and store my drone. So I can just open this guy up right here, and you guys can see inside. Here is the pull foam section that I have here that will fit my drone, my controller, as well as my battery charger with the batteries. All of that fits inside of this backpack. I can still fit a full frame camera, microphone lights. I can throw the Osbot Talent in here, a couple of small cameras, and I'm good to go. I can go out and do a full live stream, fly the drone, all that jazz, right? So you guys have probably already seen the videos where I'm flying the drone out of my backyard and I'm live streaming it at the same time. I'm gonna show you guys how I set that up as well. I think this is the last thing in the carousel, but I'm gonna go ahead and fly the drone simulator for you guys because I promised to do it on the last stream and I didn't get around to it, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it tonight. Let's get to it. All right, let's put that down. All right. Let's see if our drone is still connected. All right, so our drone is still connected. So what you guys are looking at right now is the screen you're looking at the screen from my drone controller, okay? So let me show you guys what that is before we go too far. First, go to top down, and then we'll go back to that screen. So here is my DJI Air 3S controller, but this controller can work for a variety of different DJI drones. I'm going to turn on our simulator, and I'm just going to fly around in this little simulated city just to give you guys an idea what it's like to fly a drone. Now, it's really cool that they just added the simulator to the controller, because this allows you to train and practice flying a drone without having to risk your drone or putting it up in the air. If you're not comfortable with that in the beginning, you'll be able to do this simulation with this here. All right, so let's switch back over to our drone screen. And I'm going to go ahead and start the simulation. Let's go fly. All right. And I guess this robot is supposed to be me. I guess the robot is supposed to be me. So we're just going to go ahead and place the drone down on the ground, and then we're gonna pull our sticks in to arm the propellers, and then we're just going to fly straight up. And then from here, we're just going to kind of just look around the city a little bit. Now, I have this right now in normal mode. You have 3 different speed modes. You can do normal, you can do sport, or you can do cinematic, which is relatively slow. But it simulates pretty much everything. You can also go in here and you can choose a difference between video and photo. App in here, you can choose video to record or photo to record. We're just going to choose video, and we're just going to record this as if we were really flying around a drone, and it will save it to the SD card. So we're just going to turn the drone in this direction, then we're going to just kind of move over in that direction as well. I'm going to reposition myself just a little bit so we can see down this street. So let's just orbit this around. I think I'm getting close to a building, so let's go ahead and move forward a little bit. And we could just kind of fly down this street. You're not supposed to do this, but we can do that. And then we can come up on maybe this other little intersection right here. And we can turn and look. Oh, look, there's a car, van or something there. So we could follow that. I can also switch the drone camera downward so you guys can see that a little bit better. Ooh, I'm getting pretty close to that building. All right, where did the other van go? I was looking for the white van. So let's go ahead and flip that back up so I can see. Did the van run off? Yep, the van ran away from me, guys. The van got away from me. Oh, that's okay. Let's just fly forward. Let's see what we get. All right, so you can fly over these buildings. You can land on these buildings if you choose to. So a lot of the same kind of controls you would have if you were flying a drone for real. Now we're getting into a tight area here where it will be blocking the signal, and you will get a warning just letting you know just like what would happen in a real situation. So we want to go up above this building so that I can look down on it. And we are really close to the border. I don't know if you guys can see that. If I turn this way, you can see the little fencing there. That's letting me know I can't fly beyond that point so far. So there's still, some updates they're going to do to this app so that we'll have more features. But right now, it just gives you the basic controls. You can fly around, get used to maneuvering the drone, landing the drone, orbiting around things. Like say we come up to this building here and maybe we want to orbit around the building. I can just kind of move over here a little bit and center it, and then I can orbit around it just a touch. Now I'm doing all of this manually. I'm not using any presets. I'm just kind of moving around, but I think I'm right up on that border again, so it's not going to let me go any further. So now I could just fly forward, and then I could go up over this building about right there. Then I could look down on the building and still move forward, maybe still go up a little bit so I'm above the building. So for those who don't know, you can fly up to 400 feet above ground. Now if you are a Part 107 pilot, you can fly 400 feet above the structure that you need to inspect. So let's just say, this company hired me to come in here and shoot some video and some photos of the top of this building. So then technically, even if the building was 10, 15 stories tall, I could still fly above this building. And once I get to the top of the building, I can still go up an additional 400 feet above the building. And right now, we're not even close to that. We're only at about 150 feet right now above the building. And you guys can see, in the air. So we're pretty close to the building. So let's go a little bit closer down. Whoops, no, I'm gonna go that way. There we go. Let's go straight down. And we're gonna line this up a little bit better, right about there. And then we could still orbit around this a little bit. So if we want to, just kind of spin around and then kind of come down around the building. It's just a lot of different techniques that you can practice to learn how to fly your drone, to get better at it. So that's what's really nice about having something like one of these simulators. So a lot of the drone moves that you see your favorite drone pilots you doing on YouTube or something like that, you can actually, just power this guy up and just go and practice those on your own, which is pretty cool. Now, something I did the other night when we were flying it, I went all the way down to the ground level so we could see some of the things that are on the ground. This is a drastically abandoned building, abandoned city, which is crazy. But let's see if we can fly down so you guys can see how bad this space is here. See if we can see some of these buildings. Let's move back. And let's come around here. And I don't know if you guys can see this map that's down here at the bottom, but if you click on it, it'll allow you to see out of the side of the drone, out of the drone's obstacle avoidance cameras. Then you can click back on it, or you can go to the actual map. So, a lot of the same things that you would have on your drone, you're going to have on this control as well, which is so cool. But anyway, let's fly down here. And we're going to go down almost to the street level, just so you guys can see some of the buildings they have down here. So let's rotate this around a little bit. There is Jake's Deli, but Jake's Deli is probably abandoned as well because everything looks boarded up. Okay, so let's go down here. Let's fly forward toward Jake's Deli so you guys can see that. We can go over here to the side. What do we have there? I don't know what that is. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer. Whoops, let's go down. My obstacle avoidance sees something below me and it doesn't want me to go forward, but all right, so that is Charlie's Garage. And let's go back around. There's the deli. All right, so you guys can kind of see what's on this street here. Let's rotate the camera back and then just kind of, we're just going to fly parallel to the street so you guys can kind of see what's on there. So we got the deli. We have this looks like an apartment building. Let's go down a little bit. We're almost at street level and you guys can see what that looks like. So yeah, it's a lot of abandoned buildings here. We're almost touching the street. So you can see down some of those little back streets. Then you can actually fly right down one of these streets if you want to. So, you can fly down these streets and look for things. We can also rotate the camera around again and see what's on this street. And then we could fly parallel with it, seeing whatever's there. There's a little photo lab. There's a drugstore, cosmetics, all of that kind of stuff, right? So all of these things are here, and I don't know if you guys noticed that when the drone sees that I'm about to fly into something, it will fly around it. So I have it set to avoid obstacles. Okay, we're almost at that fence again, so we'd have to go back in the opposite direction. So let's just line this up with the street center sign, and let's see if we can catch that truck. All right, so let's switch this guy into sport mode. Now we can fly a little bit faster. Let's see if we can catch up with that truck. Yeah, there's our truck. All right, there we go. Now we're flying in sport mode. Faster, much faster. Let's see which way the truck's gonna go. All right, cool. Let's follow the truck. Let's fly down there. We're right above the truck. Let's see if we can catch up with it. There we go. There's that truck. I almost ran into the building. All right, so that's enough of that. All right, guys, so that is our drone simulator. So for those that might be curious about drones or interested in drones, yes, you can get yourself a DJI drone with the controller, and you'll be able to fly it at your leisure. practicing all of your cool drone moves. You know, it's going to make it super easy for you to actually learn how to become more efficient flying your drone. So definitely check that out. All right, let's see what's going on here with this camera. Okay, I think we're back to normal. All right, guys, we only have one thing left in the carousel. Looks like Jennifer Lude is in the house. Welcome. Welcome, Jennifer Lude. Sorry, I was distracted flying this drone simulator. But let me go ahead and turn this guy off. No, I better leave that on because it might crash the stream. Because, you know, crazy stuff be happening with OBS. All right, so we got one more item left in the carousel. Smokey's already over here right underneath me because Smokey's ready for me to get over this stream and cook some dinner. Let me grab our one remaining item, which is this drawstring backpacks. Guys, you can get them here on Amazon right now for $11.99. That's going to get you 10 of these drawstring backpacks. Of course, you can use them for, you know, storage. You can use them for reusable shopping bags. You can use them for a day trip bag. Maybe you want to go, you know, do a picnic with your significant other or something like that. Of course, this is going to be great for that. Now, of course, you guys know who've been following me for quite some time know what I use these drawstring backpacks for. We use them to provide items to the homeless community in our area. You know, that's going to be Fort Bend County, Harris County, Houston, Katy, Springs, Cypress, all of those areas around me. Wherever there may be homeless communities that we're made aware of, we will, you know, go out of our way to try and provide them with some items. And most of the items we find right here on Amazon, that's going to be toothpaste, toothbrush, shampoo, conditioner, hand sanitizer, Band-Aids, pens, pencils, underwear, socks, toilet paper, reusable water bottles, all of that kind of jazz, guys. If we can get it here on Amazon in bulk, we buy it as a community, as a motorcycle club, as, you know, some other organizations that I'm affiliated with, and then we just get out and donate these things to people in the homeless community that can benefit from them. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up for the night because, as I said, Smokey is, you know, really antsy. He's ready for me to go in there and make dinner and feed him and all that other stuff because it's almost time for our shows. So Smokey knows what time we're supposed to watch our shows. So, you know, I'm telling you, they're smarter than you think. He's literally right here. He's right here under me, right? I mean, literally right here. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up for the night, guys. You know how we do. So, yeah, let's go. All right, my lovelies, stay safe out there, guys. Wash your hands, wear a mask when appropriate, take care of your loved ones, get out there and create something amazing each and every single day. Every day, my babies, be that pebble in the pond. Be the pebble in the pond. Do good in the world. Be a good human, guys. Be a good human and encourage others to do the same. Be a good human. And let me know what you guys are doing good in the world. If you are reaching out to others, if you are helping the elderly, if you are helping at women's shelters, pet shelters, homeless shelters, you know, doing food drives with your church, your school, your HOA, I want to know about it because I want to encourage you guys to keep doing that good in the community. So you guys know I got laser galore. I have 3D printers. I have heat presses. So I'll be more than happy to make something for you guys personally that I will put into your hot little hands so you can let the world know
You are all about that life, babies.
you are about that being good, being a good human, paying it forward. Yes, that's how we do. Let me know. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all them cool spots. We are live, in case you didn't know. We are live tonight and most nights here on Amazon, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on that
TikTok, baby!
That's right, we're live everywhere, and we'll probably be adding some more platforms as we go. But for now, that's enough. I think that'll get her done. That'll get her done. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. It's time for me to say them magic words. Y'all already know. Time for me to say them magic words. Peace, and blue muffin grease. I am out. Boom, 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 my babies. Make sure you hit that following button and ring ring that notification bell so that you will be notified the next time I go live. But until then, I'll be back here in about 48 hot hours. But if you guys have some ideas for the stream, something you think I might want to do in the next live stream, get at your boy, because you know I have to set up for some of this stuff, but you know my streams, like my videos, are very unscripted. So, you know, whatever happens, it just happens, okay? You know, we ain't got no control. We ain't got no control. This is live, okay? It is live 100%. I think there's like a 4 or 5 second delay, but trust me, that is not enough time to hide anything. So don't get it twisted. All right, my babies, I'm gonna see you guys back here on what day is this? What day is this? I ain't got no idea. It's Tuesday. All right, I'll see y'all right back here on Thursday night, 7 p.m. CT. But I might pop on tomorrow afternoon. So going forward, as we roll into some of the prime days, I will be streaming sometime during the daytime as well. And that's going to be somewhere between, 12 or 1 or something like that. So I will be popping in. So if you guys, get bored at work or lunch or whatever it is, and you just want to hang out with your boy, come on through, show your coworkers. So look at this crazy guy. Did you see him just set that thing on fire? Yes. Hopefully that will not happen. I'm just saying, but I can make no promises. I make no promises. But anyway, I gotta go, y'all. I gotta go make dinner. I got things to do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. But anyway, I'll holler at y'all soon. But yeah, I'll be back here on Thursday night, 7 p.m. But I might go live tomorrow because I got some stuff to unbox. And I haven't decided if I'm going to unbox it live or not, but we shall see. We'll see how I feel in the morning after I've had, 17 cups of coffee. Yes, that is a real amount. 17 cups of coffee, baby, 17. All right, I got to go. I got stuff to do. Love y'all. Peace. I'm out.